Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody can hear my voice and see the presentation on the screen. Excellent. So today we are going to take a look at reading comprehension, but ये ऐसा कोई reading comprehension नहीं है. These are the passages which were asked in an actual entrance examination, right? The CLAT Common Law Admission Test 2020 जो अभी recently end of September में conclude हुआ था, उसमें ये सारे reading comprehension के passages पूछे गए थे. Now, yesterday when I sent out the message that today we'll be doing reading comprehension from the CLAT passage, a couple of students asked me, "Sir, ये सिर्फ law वालों के लिए है?" And I was like, "See, reading comprehension in English is common, right?" मैं अब अगर को आपको पूछे 2+2 तो आपका पहला सवाल ये नहीं होगा कि सर लॉ के एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन है या बीबीए के एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन है या लिबरल का क्वेश्चन है एचएम का क्वेश्चन है. मैथ्स होता है, 2+2 4 ही होता है. So English reading comprehension is common for all the exams, right? It has nothing to, so even if it is asked in any other exam, you can always use it as a source for practice. In fact, I know a lot of students who use uh, passages from exams like CAT or SAT or GMAT, क्योंकि उनका सोर्स बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. ऑनलाइन उनके बहुत सारे फ्री रिसोर्सेज रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन को मिलते हैं. सो अगर आप कोई स्पेसिफिक एग्जाम दे रहे हो और अगर आप ऑनलाइन सर्च करते हो कि रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन पैसेजेस फॉर एसईटी या रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन पैसेज फॉर होटल मैनेजमेंट, तो बहुत लिमिटेड पैसेज मिलेंगे. बट इफ यू जस्ट से रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन पैसेज, तो रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन पैसेज तो आपको आराम से मिल जाएगा. सो इट डज नॉट मैटर कौन से एग्जाम का है, इट ऑल सेम. सो एवरीबडी कैन प्रैक्टिस दीज पैसेजेस. So today we are going to take a look at all the actual passages which were asked in the CLAT exam. I hope you all have received a copy of the passages which I just sent a couple of minutes back on the WhatsApp group. So I'll also be putting the passage on the screen. लेकिन अगर आपको स्क्रीन में पूरा पैसेज पढ़ने का कंफर्ट ना हो, इफ द एंटायर पैसेज व्हिच आई पुट ऑन द स्क्रीन यू कैन नॉट व्यू कंफर्टेबली, then you can use the PDF of the passage which I have sent, right? So I can somebody confirm you got the PDF which I just sent a couple of minutes back on WhatsApp? Yes, excellent. So, this session will proceed like this. I will give you a few minutes to read the passage first, right? It should take you about 5 to 6 minutes to read the passage. Then, if there are any meanings in the of specific words which you don't understand or any particular line which you don't understand in that passage, I'll try to explain that. And then we will take a look at each questions, and I will also explain the thought process which should go कि एग्जाम में अगर आपके सामने ऐसा क्वेश्चन आया तो आपको इस क्वेश्चन को एनालाइज कैसे करना है, उस क्वेश्चन को क्रैक कैसे किया जा सकता है. आई विल बी टेलिंग यू दैट, राइट? So we are going to start with the very first passage. I'll be putting it up on the screen. Also, the very first passage which is there in the PDF. So either you can read directly from the screen here on Zoom or you can read on PDF. If you're done with the passage, then you can give me a heads up on chat. And after some time, we will start the analysis of that passage, right? So here's the first passage on the screen. This passage is about climate change. I'll give you about 5 to 7 minutes to read it. Once you're done, just tell me you're done, and then we can start the analysis. So you may start reading the passage now. Okay, guys, I hope you have done this. You should be able to complete the passage by now. You should have read the complete passage by now. So now, if there are any doubts, couple of students have already asked me a couple of words, and I'll start explaining the meaning of the words and any doubts if you have. Very first question, Namra, and that's it's very very. I don't know what word to use, but the word that you've asked, resilience. If you're not able to understand the meaning of that particular word, let's first try to guess the meaning of the word. Let's see the passage, which the line which says, it says communities must build their resilience, including adopting appropriate technology while making the most of traditional knowledge, blah, 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 blah. So the passage is about climate change, and it is saying that climate is changing, climate change is bad, it is going to affect. And then it says that communities must build their resilience. So, what do you think resilience could mean? If you are saying, if you are suffering, if something is bad for you, and then you say that you must build your resilience, then what do you think resilience should mean? Resistance, sort of adapting to that sort of, correct? Namra, Gautam, correct, right? So, some sort of adaptability to phase something. I hope you get the meaning of resilience, right? It is the adaptability to something, flexibility to something. Okay. Now, the next question, what is the meaning of stilts? Okay. Now, in circus, have you seen sometimes they have these acrobats or jokers? They walk on some wooden pieces, right? Or sometimes you must have seen houses जो होते हैं wooden platform के ऊपर build होते हैं. So stilt is something made of generally wood or something which helps increase the height, right? So those are known as stilts, anything which is used to increase the height. So sometimes there is this wooden structure and jokers they walk on that, or sometimes houses are built on wooden supports, wooden pillars which raises the height. That is stilt. Did you get that? The meaning of the word stilt? Gotham calamines is actually a misspelling there. They, like you can see, even entrance exams, they sometimes misspell it. It is calamities. It is not calamine. It's a misspelling. It is calamities. Synergy. Now, maximum amount of students have asked me what is the meaning of the word synergy, right? So, the word synergy is something which you will come across a lot when you're talking about technology, when you're talking about more than two things doing something. You'll say there must be a synergy between X and Y. So, synergy means what? Supposing two people are working with each other, right? So, there must be some sort of cooperation between them which leads to positive outcomes, which leads to a better outcome. हम कहते हैं ना दो और दो चार नहीं, दो और दो पांच होने चाहिए, right? So synergy is basically cooperation between people so that there is a better outcome. If two people combine, their combined effort is more than their individual efforts. So some sort of symbiotic energy, right? Synergy. Did you understand the meaning of the word synergy, everybody? So synergy is nothing but positive cooperation between people which leads to better outcomes. Any other word, any other concept which you wanted to understand? I hope I've answered all the questions so far. Any line which you did not understand? Did you understand the passage so far? So, Namra, synergy, look at the use of the word. How is the word? Local coping strategies and knowledge need to be used in synergy. There is synergy between the two people. Now tell me, is it a noun or a verb? Verb. There is synergy between two people. There is now, if there is something between two people, that is to be an object. So how can that be a verb? Verb is a doing word. Synergy is like energy. Energy itself is a noun. It's an intangible. It's an immaterial noun. So synergy is also an immaterial noun. Yes. Prasanna, vulnerable. Vulnerable, it's vulnerable. If you're asking vulnerable, so vulnerable means something which can be attacked easily, which can be attacked easily. When you are suffering from diseases, your body is vulnerable to infection. Because the army was totally vanquished, the state was vulnerable from attack of the enemies. So vulnerable means which can be easily attacked. Did you understand that? I hope vulnerable was understood. Yes. Others, any other word or meaning that you would like to know before we proceed with the passage? Any other word or meaning that you would like to know before we proceed with the questions? Maitri, See, one thing you need to understand is whatever is given in the passage, you have to take for answering the questions. You should not apply any external knowledge while answering the questions asked in a passage. So, whether climate change is good or bad is immaterial. You have to only take the content which is given in the passage and answering the questions accordingly. So, if the passage says climate change is good, then in the answers, climate change is good. If in the passage climate change is bad, then in the answers, climate change is bad. So, your opinion or your external knowledge of whether something is good or bad does not matter when you are doing questions of reading comprehension. Did you get that? So you do not have to put any external knowledge in English reading comprehension. Passage में अगर दिया गया है कि climate change is very good and everybody will get 20 lakh rupees because of climate change, आंख बंद करके वो मान लेने का. Unless the question asks you to use external knowledge, you should never put your knowledge. You should only take what is given in the passage. Did you get that, Maitri? Okay. Chalo, guys. So let's proceed with the questions and see how we could have solved them. If necessary, I'll be asking you to refer back to the passage, but you'll be seeing that many questions can actually be solved logically by just going through the options. So let's do the first one. It talks about, the first question is, to address the challenge of climate change, developing countries urgently require to do what? Okay. To address the challenge of climate change, developing countries urgently required to do what? Guys, read all the four options before you mark anything. Read all the four options before you mark anything. So let's take a look at it. I'm getting two specific answers, right? So either it is A or C, according to most of us. So let's see what it is not, right? Climate change tax. I don't remember reading anything like a climate change tax. So obviously climate change tax, not my answer. And short term plans, passage का एक general sense मिलता है. They are talking about general long term solutions and everything. Short term plans की तो बात ही नहीं है passage के अंदर. So B is also not my answer. So now again, let's take a look at the question. It says to address the challenge of climate change, and the entire passage is about climate change. The entire passage is definitely about what should be done. So are we talking about a national adaptation plan overall in general, or are we talking about technological solutions in the entire passage? Now, this answer requires you to pick an option which is the general sense of the passage. While reading the entire passage, the word technological solution may have been mentioned, but that is not the basic idea of the entire passage, right? Technological solution is one thing which may have been mentioned in the passage, but the entire passage is not about only technological solutions. It talks about a lot of different things. So to address the challenge of climate change, this passage is not saying only about adoption of technological solution. So the best possible answer, because it is a general question asking you things which are a summary of the passage, we are talking about implementation of national adaptation plans, right? So between A and C, the better option definitely has to be A. C will not be the answer because technological solution may be a small mention in the paragraph, but the question is asking you what is the general sense of the passage. So a small part of the passage cannot be an answer to a question which asks you to give the overall view of the passage. So A definitely is the answer here. Did everybody understand this one? Did everybody get this one? A has to be the answer. Any doubts you can ask, else I will move on to the next question. No doubts? Excellent. Chalo. Then I will move on to the next question. Now, given below are the factors of vulnerability. Vulnerability means something which on basis of which you can be attacked. So given below are the factors of vulnerability of poor people to climate changes. Select the option that contains the correct answer. So guys, understand there are 4 options given. You have to select multiple of them. So the codes A, B, C, D are actually a combination of different answer options which are given. So out of 1, 2, 3, and 4, all of which of them are actually part of the passage is what you have to talk about. Which one is part of the answer? Or which of 1, 2, 3, 4 are all part of the answer? So again, this requires you to have understood the passage and remember certain parts. So which of the factors are actually mentioned in the passage is what we have to understand. Okay, I'm getting all sort of mixed answers, कोई नहीं, चलो, let's take a look at it. Now, one thing is for sure that option 3 is there in all the options, right? Financial resources की तो सब में बात कर रहे हैं. So option 3 is definitely part of it. So उसको तो मुझे consider करना ही नहीं है. Now, I need to see which of these is the correct answer. So एक second अब बात है, let's take a look at, is there a dependence of the poor on natural resources? Maybe. Geographical attributes? Maybe. Traditional knowledge? Yes, end of the passage mein ye bhi mention kiya gaya hai. But what we need to understand is, does the passage talk about dependence upon natural resources? Yes. Does it talk about geographical attributes as a factor? Yes. Does it talk about lack of traditional resources? The answer is no. If you have read and understood the passage, and I will go back to the passage for this, traditional knowledge end mein hai, right? If you remember, yahan pe dekho, traditional knowledge can help to provide efficient blah 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 blah. It says technology while making the most of traditional knowledge, right? These are the two places where they're talking about traditional knowledge, and nowhere in these two parts are they saying that there is a lack of traditional knowledge. They are saying traditional knowledge must be used. They are not saying that there is a lack of traditional knowledge. So 4 cannot be my answer, and 1 and 2 are definitely there in the passage, the initial portion. If you go back to the passage and check, right, if you take a look at, it says geography blah blah blah, dependence of natural resources. It says vulnerability to climate change is not just a function of this, but also this. That means geography and natural resource dependence definitely are factors, but they are not the only factors. So these are definitely mentioned. So 1 and 2 is definitely part of my answer, and 3 तो सब में सारे options में है. 4 is not my answer. So definitely D has to be marked. Did everybody get this one? I hope everybody understood this one. D definitely is my answer. If there is any confusion, please ask. I hope now you understand slowly how we analyze all the options from the passage, right? And guys, it's not that we are to read the entire passage in detail, but you should have a brief idea कि इस particular term को मैं कहाँ पे ढूंढूं, right? So when you do constant reading practice, you will get a sense of, when you're reading the passage, where in the passage a particular idea has been mentioned, right? Chalo, moving on to the next question. Which of the following is against the idea portrayed in the passage? Now guys, इस question के अंदर trick है, right? The trick here is, it is against. That means out of the 4 options, 3 of them may actually be part of the passage. One of them is against the idea. What is the general idea of the passage? It's about the first question का answer, national adaptation plan something something. So climate change को fight करने के लिए एक national level पे adaptation plan कर रहे हैं, उतना तो idea मिल गया. So ये जो idea है, इसके खिलाफ कौन सा वाला ऑप्शन है, is the one that you are looking for. चलो, okay. Now, based on whatever we have seen so far, the first 2 questions and the general idea of the passage, we can, if not select the right answer, we can definitely eliminate a lot of them, right? So let's take a look at all the question and the option. Which of the following is against the idea portrayed in the passage? Now, it is talking about a national level plan. If we are talking about a national level plan, would the passage be mentioning something like coordination between regional and national efforts is necessary? Is this against the idea? Not necessary, because this will be following this will be in line with the idea that we need to coordinate. So A, even without looking at the passage, I can guess may not be the answer, right? Second, the process of adaptation to climate change does not take into account the factor of prevailing national circumstances. बट इफ आई रिमेंबर द पैसेज, राइट, प्रीवियस क्वेश्चन को आंसर करने के लिए भी हमने देखा था कि नॉट ओनली जियोग्राफिकल एंड समथिंग बट ऑल्सो समथिंग समथिंग, ऐसा कोई आइडिया था. दैट मीन्स इट इज टेकिंग इनटू अकाउंट अदर फैक्टर्स. So this idea that it does not take into factor the prevailing national circumstances is actually against the idea of the passage. So B may be my answer. लेकिन याद रखो, रीडिंग कॉम्प्रीहेंशन के अंदर जब तक सारे ऑप्शंस चेक नहीं करते तब तक आंसर मार्क नहीं करेंगे. सो लेट्स टेक अ लुक एट द अदर टू ऑप्शंस. Social dimensions of climate change also need to be appreciated. By initial part of the passage mein, again remember, we did see that things other than geography and natural resources, social, economic, all that factors. So yes, it is mentioned in the passage, not my answer. And final, combining traditional knowledge with appropriate technology is the need of the hour. Clearly last line में हमने देखा था कि ये दिया गया है पैसेज के अंदर. Again, not my answer. So from all the given options, best possible answer definitely has to be B. Did everybody get this one? By simple elimination of things, we will definitely realize that answer has to be B. If there is any confusion, please ask. Are we clear on this one? Chalo. If you're clear on this one, I'll move on to the next question then. The traditional knowledge should be used through what? This should be a sitter question. Pappu question hai ye to. Dissemination is spreading of information. For example, the knowledge about how to protect yourself from coronavirus should be disseminated in the public. So to disseminate something is to spread something. Okay. So let's take a look at the question. It says traditional knowledge should be used through what? And guys, remember traditional knowledge wala end of the passage ke humne mein dekha tha, do baar it is written. So what is that traditional knowledge talking about, right? If we go back to the passage and see, so traditional knowledge, it says communities must build blah 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 while making the most of traditional knowledge blah 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 blah, and immediately it says local coping strategies and knowledge, that is this knowledge, need to be used in synergy with government and local intervention, right? The word synergy, because a lot of us came across this word and did not understand it. So that word synergy आपके दिमाग में चिपक जाना चाहिए कि जहां पे ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज की बात हो रही है उसके आजू बाजू ही ये सिनर्जीज की भी बात कर रहे हैं. सो द वर्ड, so improvement in national circumstances, no. Climate change tax kahin pe bhi nahi. And it's not just about spread of information, but it is actually using the synergies between government and local intervention that traditional knowledge should go ahead. So directly from the passage, we get traditional knowledge and synergy, both of them very closely linked to each other, and hence definitely my answer needs to be B. Did everybody get this one? Traditional knowledge is spread is not. It is not talking about what should be done. It should be said, it is asking how it should be done. Look at the question. It says traditional knowledge should be used through what? Right? Through what? So traditional knowledge is through the synergy between government and local intervention. The word through here is actually the clue. How is traditional knowledge to be used? It can be used when there is synergy, when there is cooperation, coordination between what? The local agencies and the government. So that is a clear indication that you are looking at option B as the right answer. Did everybody get this one? I hope everybody understood this, why B has to be the answer. Although it looks like D, but D is not the exact answer to the question. It has to be B for Bombay. Right? If there are any doubts, ask, else I'll move ahead. No? Okay. Now, like I said, when somebody asked me the meaning of this word, I said, I don't know what to say, because look at it, guys. Vocabulary based direct question was asked. What is the meaning of the word resilience in the passage? Right? So when you asked me what is the meaning of the word resilience, that's why I was feeling a bit amused, because that was exactly one of the questions asked in the passage. And I think now you should be able to understand what resilience means. Young children are often resilient to diseases. In a storm, under heavy winds, it is the grass which is resilient and not a tall tree. So it is not about being tough, right? It's not about being tough. And it's the passage says you should become resilient. Resilient, so fragility means something which is very weak. Vulnerability again means something which can be attacked. Nobody is asking you to become weak, or nobody will ask you to become open to attack. So flexibility, when if in a storm a tree cannot bend, so a tree breaks, but the grass, it easily bends. So when heavy winds blow, the grass will bend, and after the wind is stopped blowing, it will come back. So because of flexibility, it is able to survive. So resilience actually means flexibility, the ability to adapt to something. Did everybody get this one? So guys, even if you had not read the passage, at least one question of vocabulary you will be able to solve if your vocabulary is decent enough. So that is why I keep telling you it is very important to learn new words, right? एग्जाम के अंदर सारे पैसेजेस थे, लेकिन फिर भी पैसेज पढ़े बिना अगर आपको आंसर करना होता है तो हर क्वेश्चन, हर पैसेज में एटलीस्ट एक क्वेश्चन तो वोकैबुलरी बेस्ड आ ही जाता है. सो इन द एंड, सपोजिंग यू हैव लेफ्ट द रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन फॉर द एंड, आपने किया कि चलो आरसी एंड में करेंगे और एग्जाम में टाइम नहीं बचा, आपको पूरा पैसेज पढ़ने का टाइम नहीं है, तो भी पूरे पैसेज में कोई ना कोई ऐसा क्वेश्चन सेट में होगा जो शायद वोकैबुलरी बेस्ड हो. So even if you don't have enough time to read the passage and solve it, sometimes you'll be able to answer one or two questions just because it is vocabulary based. Guys, so that's actually a good strategy. That's the reason why you should be reading a lot of vocabulary. Did you understand this? Yes? Yeah, Khwahish, it means toughness, but toughness is not actually resilience, right? I don't know where it is given. It is the capacity to recover quickly. Toughness simply means the ability to withstand something. Resilience actually means to withstand and to come back. So between toughness and flexibility, the better option is actually flexibility. Tough means you are able to, if somebody hits you, you're able to absorb it. Flexibility, resilience means after absorbing, you come back to the normal position. So flexibility is a much better option than toughness. Toughness is not the and again look at it, does not ask you resilience standalone. It says the meaning as occurring in the passage. So in the passage, contextually, the meaning is actually flexibility. Did you get that? So Khwahish, in online you can have multiple options, but you have to select the option the way it is used in the passage, right? A word can have two different. For example, I can ask you, what is the meaning of the word spring? Now somebody says, sir, the meaning of the word spring is season. Correct, but passage is about cooking and they said the chef used spring onions. Do you think he used spring in the meaning as the meaning season? No, here in the passage he may have used the second meaning. So again, look at it as occurring in the passage. Toughness may be a meaning, but here in the passage the word resilience is more of flexibility than toughness, right? So if you don't have time, you can take a stab at it. Of course, it's not 100% guaranteed you will get the answer, but you can take a stab at it. Did you get it? Yes, Maitri, that's correct. You will have multiple meanings of the same word. You will always have to pick the one, because in the question clearly says what is the meaning as occurring in the passage. A word may have different meanings, but in the passage, how does the author use this word? That is what matters. Did everybody get this one? I hope everybody got this one. Chalo, very good. So, guys, 5 questions, first passage. I hope you got an idea of how to look at the questions, the options, and select the right one. Let's take a look at the second passage. I'll give you about 5 minutes, and then we will discuss the same as before: meanings, understanding, and then the questions. So, the second passage. Okay, guys, I hope you have understood. Last line it says this was an editorial actually published in the Times of India, right? So very clear indicator why we keep asking you to read newspapers, especially editorials, right? And Times of India, to practically most people ke ghar aata hai, online you can see. So now I'm going to start answering the questions of the meanings of various words and things, starting with guise. The word guise means disguise, right? Disguise, I hope you know what it means. Bhesh, जो एक रूप बदलते आप, यू डिस्गाइज योर सेल्फ एज समथिंग, रूप बदल के आप आते हो. सो द वर्ड गाइस मीन्स द ओवरऑल मेकअप और मेक ओवर विच यू हैव, राइट. रूप रंग बदल के जो आप आते हो, डिस्गाइज का शॉर्ट गाइस. Spouting, the word spout you might have heard in one of your nursery rhymes, if you remember. I'm a little teapot, short and stout, this is my handle and this is my spout. तो टीपॉट में एक तरफ हैंडल होता है, दूसरी तरफ जो पाइप होती है जिसमें से चीजें बाहर निकलती हैं. तो इन हिंदी हम कहते हैं ना, हम वो उगल रहा था, वो बकवास उगल रहा था, वो आग उगल रहा था. तो टू थ्रो आउट समथिंग वायलेंटली इज स्पाउटिंग. In regular English, spouting something also means saying something in loudly or non-stop. So spouting means ugalna. Dominance, dominant means something which is more powerful, right? So if I have more power, I'm dominating over you, then I have dominance over you. So when I'm overpowering you, when I have power over you, then I have dominance over you, right? Okay. Other words before I go to concepts. Okay, juvenile. The word juvenile means a person who is not an adult. Adult का opposite होता है juvenile, right? So adults are people who are mature enough, and juveniles are people who basically children who have not yet attained maturity. So juvenile basically means young people who are not yet adults. Okay. Okay, the last line, they should play a more proactive role. Okay, proactive is the opposite of reactive. घटना घटने के बाद अगर आप कुछ करते हो, then you are reacting to it, you are reactive. But before it happens, if you do something to prevent it, then you are proactive. So proactive means कुछ होने से पहले ही आप संभाल लेते हो. So it says they should play a proactive role in stopping the sexual harassment of real people in the guise of virtual sport. तो डिजिटल मीडिया कुछ को पहले से ही ऐसे कदम उठाने चाहिए ताकि वर्चुअल स्पोर्ट, ऑनलाइन इज वर्चुअल इज द ऑपोजिट ऑफ रियल, डिजिटल वर्चुअल. सो असली लोगों को डिजिटल वर्चुअल के नाम पे सेक्सुअली हैरेस करने से रोकने के लिए they should use proactive measures. They should not wait for the incident to happen and then do it. They should do something so that the incident ही ना हो. That is the last line, right? Recess of online avatar. Recess means the dark hidden places. For example, a recess is basically something you go inside a cave like area जिसके अंदर आप जाके छुप जाते हो, एक अंधेरी गली. Online avatar. So online avatar, I hope everybody knows what an avatar is. It is a persona that you use online, your name, your photo. Not everybody uses their actual name and photo, right? आपका रियल नेम कुछ भी हो सकता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल योर नेम कुड बी राम प्रसाद, बट ऑनलाइन आपने नाम रखा होगा हैंडसम हंक 99. सो योर नेम ऑनलाइन, योर फोटोग्राफ ऑनलाइन, दैट इज योर ऑनलाइन अवतार. सो रिसेस ऑफ दैट ऑनलाइन अवतार बेसिकली मींस ऑनलाइन आपने जो अपनी शक्ल नाम से बना रखी है उसमें आप छुप जाते हो, उसके पीछे आप छुप जाते हो. स्पाउटिंग ऑब्जेक्टिफिकेशन, वही ऑब्जेक्टिफिकेशन इज किसी चीज को इंसान की जगह वस्तु की जगह तरह डिस्क्राइब करना. When you're talking about people, you use respect. For objects, for inanimate objects, you don't have respect, right? You just describe them. So when sometimes when people talk about other people without respect, as if they are objects and not people, that is called objectification. So spouting objectification is without having respect, just describing something in a manner which may be insulting, right? Juvenile, Panika, I already said juvenile is someone who's not an adult, basically youngsters. You guys will be all called juveniles. Guys is disguise, Veshbhusha. I hope I explained all the questions asked so far. Anything else to be explained? Anything else to be explained? Juvenile. Macho means Amul macho yaar. Salman Khan is a macho actor. उसका मतलब क्या होता है? सलमान खान, संजय दत्त, एकदम मैस्कुलिन, मैचो बोलते हैं ना, मैचो मैन, एकदम rugged masculine. So who has extreme masculine features, that is called macho. It's the opposite of feminine. You get that? Did everybody? So any other questions, guys? Did you understand most of the meanings in the passage? And I hope everybody understood what the passage is about. An actual incident which happened in end of April and May was a lot in the news and literally involves guys of your age. I hope nobody here is stupid enough to involve in such activities, right? Not only is it bad, but technically it's also illegal. It can land in a lot of legal trouble if anybody involves in such activities, and obviously it makes no sense to be part of such things. ठीक है, चलो. Gautam, what is it, boys? As in, you're asking the spelling? Are you asking the, is it boys? What do you mean? No, of course it means BOYS, but they, जैसे Yankee, this young generation, तुम्हारे spellings एकदम माशाल्लाह होता ना, boys, right? So that was the name of the group. The spelling was that. BOIS was the spelling. Obviously they meant BOYS. But ऐसी चीज करने वाले are not exactly the most intelligent people on planet Earth. तो खुद को यो दिखाने के लिए ऐसे यो स्पेलिंग यूज, ये वो वाला है. That's why this, it is boys, but they spelled it BOIS to seem cool and all that. But the activities they involved in was absolutely bullshit. Chalo, let's take a look at the questions now. First one. What is the central idea being conveyed by the author in the passage above? Oh, simple. This is, I think, pretty simple. What is the central idea being conveyed by the author in this passage? Let's take a look at the options. First one, modern social networking platform must take the lead in regulating young people from using these platforms for sexual abuse. If you remember the last line of the passage itself, I'll go back to the passage. If you remember the last line of the passage itself, it says that they should play a more proactive role in stopping sexual harassment of real people, blah, 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 blah. And generally in an editorial, the last line would be the summary. So A quite possibly can be the answer, right? But दूसरे options को देखना भी जरूरी है. चलो. Second, it is significant to educate children and youngsters about gender equality. Is this passage about gender equality, or is it more about how sexual harassment takes place online and how that should be prevented? Well, it is about sexual harassment. It is about misuse of online resources. It is not about equality between the genders. So B definitely cannot be my answer. Passage gender equality के बारे में नहीं है. Passage is more about how sexual harassment takes place online. So B, not my answer. C says digital platform needs to have a zero tolerance policy towards content leading to sexual abuse. Well, this has been mentioned in the passage, लेकिन ये पूरे passage का essence नहीं है. The passage is not about there should be zero tolerance policy. The passage is about how sexual harassment happens online and how it can be stopped, right? This is only one of the ideas which is given. The entire passage is not about how to stop this. The entire passage is about what is happening and how to stop this. So C only partially answers the meaning of the passage. It is not the central idea of the passage. And because A is possible, none of the above ho nahi sakta. So the best possible answer definitely has to be A. Right? A has to be the answer to this question, because the central idea of the passage is not about gender equality. It is not about zero tolerance policy. It is about how sexual abuse takes place and how platforms should be regulating it. That's the central idea. So A is a better option than anyone else, than anything else. Did everybody understand this? A definitely is a better option than anything else. Yes? Any doubts? Please do ask. If not, I will move ahead. Okay? Chalo. Moving ahead, same passage, next question. As per the author, why is this incident a wake-up call for parents? Wake-up call means it makes you realize that there is a problem. A wake-up call means the realization that there is a problem and you need to do something about it. So according to the author, why is this a wake-up call for the parents? Why is it saying, why are parents now aware that this is a problem and we need to do something about it. Let's take a look at the options. Now, is this a wake up call because the parents are indulged heavily in social networking platform? पेरेंट्स खुद बहुत सोशल नेटवर्क पे हैं इसलिए ये इंसिडेंट वार्निंग है? नहीं, it's not about parents spending a lot of time on social networking. A, definitely not my answer. Second, because parents have failed to stop their children from committing such blunders. Well, in some part of the passage, it may seem that they're saying, yes, parents should also be careful. But overall, it is not about parents having done this. The passage is more towards how the digital platform themselves need to be regulating, right? So it is not about the failure of parents to do such a thing. So B, not so good. Third, it is the primary responsibility of parents to control their children. No, it is not. The passage again does not say, is not focused on parents and control of children. It is how children are misusing and how digital platforms should be doing something about it, right? The passage is not about responsibility of parents. So C, not such a great option. अब D को देखें. Because the parents have failed in educating their children regarding fair internet usage and have simply invested in the technology driven education of children. Parents have put money, but they have not educated children about how to properly use it. Well, this is definitely a sense we are getting, and also answers that is the reason why parents should take this as a warning on what they are doing wrong, right? So D makes the most sense when taken as an answer to the question that why is this incident a warning to the parents? Why? Because they're spending money, they're exposing children to use of technology, but they are not educating children enough on how to properly use this technology. So D makes the most sense. Definitely D has to be the answer. I think most of you got it right. Yes. Again, Namra, are we? That's a general. Namra says these important issues are a taboo in most of the houses. Accepted. But we are not doing a general discussion of the issue. We are seeing the reading comprehension passage. And nowhere does the passage tell anything about such issues being taboo in houses. So we should be very careful in understanding that we have to answer the question based on whatever information is given to us in the passage itself. We cannot use external knowledge of any issues in answering the questions, right? I do accept it is very important for parents in real life to educate their children about such things. I also accept that a lot of parents are uncomfortable addressing these issues, right? But the point is, as far as this question is concerned, we do not have any such indication in the passage. So good or bad, we will have to stick to the points given in the passage for answering the question. But I accept, but I appreciate your point. Okay, guys, can we move on to the next question? Okay, chalo. Eighth one. Now, according to the author, in order to understand the root cause of such insensitive incidents, it is important for what? Again, to understand the root cause means the reason. ऐसी घटनाएं क्यों घट रही हैं? Why is such an incident taking place? To understand that, according to the author, what is important? Now here, it is very important to understand the question. It is very important to understand the question. And a lot of students are making the same mistake which originally even the paper setter made in this exam. The person who set the paper also made the same mistake which students are making. Maitri, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. So, first we have to understand the question, guys. According to the author, in order to understand the cause of the incident, to understand why it is taking place, what are we expected to do? Right? We are not asking how to stop the problem. Question says, इस problem का कारण क्या है? वो कैसे समझें? First one, understand and examine the kind of socialization process these children are exposed to. if you understand what sort of social things the children are exposed to, does it seem like a help in understanding why such incidents take place? If you understand their social exposure, you will understand their behavior. So A possibly could be my answer, because this does help us understand why this problem is taking place. Now, second one, adopt artificial intelligence driven technology. Guys, this is a measure of how to stop the problem, right? Use of artificial intelligence will help you stop the problem, but it cannot help you understand why the problem is taking place. In the entire passage, they are not talking about using artificial intelligence to understand the reason behind the problem. प्रॉब्लम का कारण क्या है ये जानने के लिए आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का इस्तेमाल नहीं करने वाले. They are going to use artificial intelligence to simply stop the problem. So B, not my answer. Same reason for C. Strengthening the environment of discipline will help you stop the problem, but it will not help you understand why this problem is taking place, right? And here the author is, we have to answer why and not how. So C, not my answer. So automatically all of the above also gets eliminated. So A has to be the answer to this question. And guys, you'll be surprised, original answer key mein, even the paper setter marked D as the answer, but then the question was challenged, and then they realized that B and C are actually not methods to understand the root cause, they are only the solutions. So D cannot be the answer, it has to be A, right? The answer key was changed, right? That's why the star mark. Now did everybody understand? A has to be the answer, because B and C do not explain why, they only tell you how. Right? So guys, understanding what are they asking of you in the question is very important. Right? क्वेश्चन को समझो. क्वेश्चन को अगर समझ लिया तो आंसर में से ऑप्शंस को एलिमिनेट करना बड़ा आसान हो जाता है. राइट? Yes, it is given. The list line is, see, A is definite. Gautam, I'm saying A is given in the passage, but B and C lines are also there in the passage. And that's why some students will mark D, all of the above. A, B, C, तीनों ही passage के अंदर हैं, but only A is the answer to the question which is asked here. B and C are there in the passage, but not the answer to the question which is asked. Right? And that's the common mistake that everybody will make. They will not understand the question. उनको लगेगा ये तीनों चीजें पैसेज में दी हैं तो चलो यही आंसर है. Did everybody get this one? I hope everybody got this one, right? B and C don't answer the asked question, and hence A. Yes? Sure. In the question, methods are given, not causes. See, according, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I hope you understood that, Shiv. They're asking what is the root cause, and B and C are actually methods. So not the answer, because they're not asking the methods to stop. They're asking, how do you understand the reason why people are doing such things? Did you get that, Shiv? In the answers, methods are given, not causes. Only A addresses that. Did you get that, Shiv? I hope that's what you are asking. Yes? Excellent. Very good. Chalo. आगे बढ़ते हैं. Same passage, 9th question. On the basis of your reading of the passage, which of the following statements can be inferred? Inferred यानी कि derived from the passage. So these things may not, the options may not be directly in the passage, but passage पढ़ने के बाद ये आप derive कर सकते हो. So which of the options? A general sense of the passage is actually enough to answer this question, right? So, first one, sexual offenses can be reduced by timely counseling from parents and quasi-parental authority. Quasi means semi, right? Quasi means semi. So teachers, they are not full parents, but they are almost like parents. So quasi-parental authorities, that is teachers. So can sexual offense, do we infer that this can happen? Maybe, right? A को eliminate तो नहीं कर सकते, so possible है. Okay. Then second, if digital platforms implement a zero tolerance policy towards such a menace, sexual offenses can be completely stopped. Now guys, anytime they use an extreme thing like totally, completely. Always think, go back to the passage and check, have they guaranteed that this will help completely eliminate the problem, or is it one of the methods to eliminating the problem? If they are talking about more than one method of eliminating a problem in the passage, then in an answer a single option cannot completely be the solution. Are they saying zero tolerance policy के अलावा कुछ भी करने की जरूरत नहीं है, or have they suggested any other thing? Obviously they have suggested that parents should make them sensitive, this and that, right? So when they're giving you more than one method of stopping the problem, then no answer can say that this method will completely stop it. Passage never says that. So B, not my answer. Similarly, investment in education is enough. If investment in education of children is enough, then why are they saying that zero tolerance policy होनी चाहिए? Right? अगर बच्चों के एजुकेशन में आप इन्वेस्ट करके प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कर देते हो, तो ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म का जीरो टॉलरेंस पॉलिसी यूज करना बेकार है, बिकॉज एजुकेशन ही सॉल्व कर देता है. इट डज नॉट, राइट? सो अगेन इन्वेस्टमेंट इज नॉट इनफ. So C also cannot be my answer, and the moment any one option is eliminated, all of the above kabhi bhi answer nahi ho sakta. So the only option which makes any sense has to be option A. So B, C, D eliminated. A has to be the answer to this question. Did we get this one? Same as previous one, right? So even answers which talk about this option is enough, this will completely help you. The moment you know that the passage has more than one solution given, any option which says this is alone enough can generally be eliminated. Always keep that in mind for such questions. Did everybody get this one? I hope everybody got the answer to this question, right? Chalo, let's move on to the next one then. Last question and vocabulary based question. And again, a lot of people ask me the meaning of the word spouting, right? So now can you tell me spouting का मतलब क्या होता है? And बचपन में I had read a nice poem. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. This is my handle and this is my spout. So this part is called the spout, right? Fountain spouts भी होते हैं, टैप्स में भी स्पाउट होता है. सो एनी पोर्शन जिससे बाहर फ्लो होता है कोई चीज, दैट इज कॉल्ड अ स्पाउट. सो even if you don't know the meaning of the word spout, still you can answer this question. Kaise? Pouring, streaming, erupting, all of them mean the same thing, right? Water was pouring down from the sky, right? A lot of water was streaming down. It was erupting, right? So large quantities mein koi cheez behti hai, all of them mean the same thing. And spouting, so the volcano was spouting lava, lava was erupting, lava was pouring out, lava was streaming. They all mean the same thing. So what does spouting mean? It literally means pouring, streaming, or erupting. All of them are the answer. So all of the above. Yes. Maitri, where was this rhyme? I don't know. So today's homework, Maitri, for you, you can go online and search for nursery rhymes. I'm a little teapot. I don't know, guys. Has anybody read this? Been taught this nursery rhyme? I'm a little teapot. Anyone who has read this? A lot of people say yes. Okay. So some of you might have been taught this, some of you not. For example, आजकल एक बड़ा famous poem है which I'm sure none of us have learnt. Baby Shark. How many of you have heard Baby Shark? Maitri, correct. For those who have not heard Baby Shark, you guys, do you know what is an earworm? Again, we'll do a little bit of vocabulary. These things are fun. You can learn vocabulary these ways. So earworm is basically any tune or song which once you hear, you keep on repeating it and you cannot forget it. कभी कभी होता है ना, कोई ट्यून, कोई लिरिक्स आपके दिमाग में बैठ जाते हैं, फिर चाहते ना चाहते हुए दिन भर वही चीज आप खुद you get frustrated but still you cannot forget it. That is called an earworm. So if I'm giving you a fair warning, Baby Shark is an earworm. If you listen to it once, गलती से दिन भर वही गाते रहोगे and everybody will get. It's a बच्चों का nursery rhyme, but it's a Baby Shark is an earworm. Yeah, rasode mein kaun tha was also an earworm. So today we learned a new word also. If you did not know earworm, that's a new vocabulary word. Okay? Chalo guys, any other question from the passage? Else we can move ahead to the third passage. So Maitri, बच्चों के लिए जो rhymes होते हैं, they are not meant to be very informative. They're supposed to be very simple. They're supposed to be easy to understand. It just tells you about the members of the family. Yeah. So बच्चों के rhymes are supposed to be like that. They are very repetitive. They're very sing-songy, simple words. It's just to introduce them to words and stuff. It's not supposed to be very informative. Yes. Yes, Gautam. Doubt. The black humor. Okay. I can do that. I hope you know what is the Ringa Ringa Roses. Have you heard? That's the most famous one. Ringa Ringa Roses. Do you know the Swam? We have already started that. We have already started that, but we are limited by the number of phone calls that we can make in a day. We have already started that. Swam. Anytime this week you should be starting. A lot of students have already been covered. Others we are doing during the weekdays when my guys come. During the weekdays we do that, so don't worry. It will take a little time to cover everybody, but we have already started that. Okay, guys, how many of you have heard of a poem called Ringa Ringa Roses or Ring Around the Roses? I'm sure everybody would have heard. Do you know the actual meaning behind the poem, the history of these poems? And I think in one of the entrance examinations they actually had a passage based on that. So if you don't know the history about the poem, here's it is. I'll take a minute. It's important to know such things also. It's part of general knowledge. So the poem, it goes like, ring around the roses, or ringa ringa roses, pocket full of posies, a tissue, all fall down. That's the poem which you must have heard, right? It's based on actually a disease, and it's very relevant because even now the world is suffering from pandemic, right? We are all suffering from under a global pandemic, the corona. A long time, a couple of centuries back, the world was suffering from another pandemic called the plague. It was known as the Black Plague. Now, plague is a disease which affects people. It's the vectors are usually rats and other things. And when your person is affected by plague, one of the symptoms is that you get circular marks on your skin, right? Which look like a rose-like pattern. It looks as if a rose pattern is made on the skin. That's one of the symptoms. So ringa ringa roses, it actually means ring-like patterns, like rose-like patterns on the skin. So it actually, the first line is about the symptom of the disease. The second line, pocket full of posies. Now posies were actually supposedly very cheap flowers. So poor people, they don't have money. So जेब में सिर्फ वो सस्ते फूल हैं. And the other interpretation is some people used to keep the posies, flowers in their pocket to avoid the smell of decaying flesh. Right, when people died and there was not much sanitation, the dead bodies used to have a bad smell. So to avoid that smell, they used to keep flowers in their pockets. So pocket full of posies. The third line, a tissue. It's actually the sound of sneezing, right? Cheek marte hain. So the sound, when somebody was affected by the disease, they used to start sneezing. So this is the third. The third line is you start sneezing, and that was the last symptom. If you start sneezing, after that, the next step of the disease is death. So all fall down. It actually means that they started sneezing and then they died. So बचपन में जो एकदम मस्ती से हम गाते हैं रिंगा रिंगा रोजीज पॉकेट फुल ऑफ posies, should understand it actually depicts the black death, the black plague which affected London. It actually again is a poem which talks about a pandemic which happened years back. Did everybody get this? Hasha busha. Again, those are sounds of sneezing. So the actual lyrics are atishu, but hasha busha is same. It's the sound of sneeze which is made by the patients before they die. So the poems are, a lot of poems actually have a very dark history behind them. Did everybody get this one? So next time we sing this, we will realize that poems are very historical. Quite possible. Chalo, let's move ahead. Gautam, what is red tapeism? Bureaucracy. Bureaucratism literally means all the सरकारी bureaucracy which you have to do. कोई भी चीज करने से पहले ये फॉर्म भरो, ये करो, ये सिग्नेचर लेके आओ, all the सरकारी procedures which you have to do. It's not easy to get something. प्राइवेट में फटाफट आपको मिल जाता है, सरकारी कुछ करना हो तो आपको बहुत सारे प्रोसेसेस फॉलो करते हैं. So all the bureaucratic processes, that is called reptapism. Did you get that? Chalo guys, let's move ahead. Next passage. Again, I'll give you a few minutes. Then we'll discuss the words and concepts. You may either read the passage from the screen or you can read it from the PDF sent to you, right? 5 minutes. Then tell me when you are done. Okay, guys. Fantastic passage, literature based passage, actually a story, and hence a lot of words which have been used, which really tests your vocabulary, right? It's not an informative passage or anything, it's a very descriptive passage. Chalo, let's take a look at meaning starting from the beginning. Imperturbable. To be perturbed means to be disturbed. Dimag हिल जाना, right? दिमाग थोड़ा डगमगा जाना. जब you hear some bad news, you get disturbed, right? That is perturbed. So imperturbable, that which cannot be disturbed, जिसको आप बिल्कुल डगमगा नहीं सकते, जिसको बिल्कुल हिला नहीं सकते, that is imperturbable. Crouched means कूदने से पहले बिल्ली जिस पोजीशन में होती है, राइट, इट इज बेंड डाउन, उसके लेग्स को अंदर खींचती है जस्ट बिफोर इट लीप्स, सो नीचे झुकी हुई है. इवन बिफोर यू जंप, सपोजिंग यू वांट टू जंप, आप खड़े खड़े नहीं कूदोगे, यू फर्स्ट बेंड डाउन एंड देन यू जंप. So the action of bending down and then leaping, that bending down is called crouching. Constraint literally means limits, right? Bandhan. So he was under no constraint of human will. There was no limitation of human will. Tyrannized comes from the word tyrant. Tyrant is a person जो आप पे terrorize करता है, right? Like Hitler was a tyrant, or Ravan was a tyrant. So tyrannized means somebody who had power over you and somebody who terrorized you. That's a tyrant. Famished is the same as hungry, but it's an extreme form. भूख लगी है, hungry. बहुत भूख लगी है, तो you are famished. So famished is an extreme form of hunger. Convictions means belief. So absolute convictions means absolute belief. Whatever you believe that you are this. So you have a conviction that you will succeed. So if you have very strong belief, that's called a conviction. Pine is a type of tree, जैसे banyan tree होता है, mango tree होता है. Pine is a type, it's a coniferous tree found in the cold regions, right? Christmas trees जैसे होते हैं, those are pine-like trees. Bow, again, like spout, the word bow is also from nursery rhymes. Rockabye baby on the treetop, when the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, so bough literally means branch. So guys, दो nursery rhymes के references. The word bough literally means branch of a tree. Crescendo means the peak, ultimate height of something, right? Sarega pa da ni sa sa. So extreme high जो होता है, the peak of something, that is called a crescendo. Meowed is actually just the sound made by the cat. Meow, right? Cried out. So meowed, it's a literary form, meowed. Precipice is actually mountains and उस area में जो खाई types होते हैं. Precipice, edge. Precipice actually means an edge. It's not exactly valley. Precipice actually means the edge of something. Then the tangle of trees and bushes. Tangle means खिचड़ी. जब आप फिरकी में से डोरी निकालते हो, फिर उसका गुछड़ा बन जाता है. So गुछड़ा, so which is all tangled up, right? बाल में भी बाल एक दूसरे में फिक्स हो जाते हैं, या चार्जर का वायर जब एकदम गुच्छा बन जाता है, that's called a tangle. So a tangle of trees and bushes clinging to the mountain side with a stern clutch of roots. So जो trees and bushes है वो mountain के side पे एकदम heavily roots से पकड़े हुए हैं. Prostrate means something which is lying flat on the ground. आप किसी को नमन करते हो, आप किसी के सामने पूरे लेट जाते हो नमन करने के लिए. So you are prostrate. So prostrate actually means something which is lying down. So the prostrate जो trunks and branches एकदम झुके हुए हैं. Vines of creepers and other things. Embracing means झप्पी माना. So the vines embracing everything. Sub vines trees के आजू बाजू लपेटे हुए हैं with strong knots. It's just describing the vegetation which is all there. So did we get the meaning of all this? I hope I covered most of the words which people had to understand in this. Anything I missed out? Did everybody get the meanings of these words? Any other word left? Shall we move on to the questions then? Prasanna, do they ask poems in RC? Yes, they have asked absolute poetry in RCs as well. They may ask you even script of plays with dialogues and everything. Exams may have seen script from plays. I have seen poetry, every type of thing. Yes, Gautam, ravine is a gorge. They are all synonymous. They're synonymous. Okay, chalo guys, so let's quickly move to the questions. Right, first one, which of the following is the meaning of first question itself, crescendo? Crescendo, I said, yeah, extremely high, right? Nadir actually means bottommost. It's the opposite of crescendo. Cannot be my answer. Prudence is when you take care about something, and upsurge is sudden increase in something. So even if you don't know what providence or nemesis means, we know apex means top, crescendo also means extreme high. So best option definitely A. And nemesis literally means jani dushman. Nemesis literally means Jani Dushman. Gautam, I cannot answer whether they will specifically ask which a particular play of Shakespeare or not. But there's I know a couple of plays like Waiting for Godot is a play from which they have asked. They have asked from My Fair Lady, written by George Bernard Shaw. There are literally lakhs of plays and scripts out there. They can ask from anything. So you never know. I hope everybody got the first question right. Chalo. Nemesis means Jani Dushman. Yes. Nemesis literally means Jani Dushman. Like Lex Luthor is the nemesis for Superman, or the Joker is the nemesis for Batman. Nemesis means arch enemy. So main villain hota hai. That is called the nemesis. Okay. Guys, next one. The passage has been adorned, decorated with numerous figures of speech. Now, this is concept of poetry. So which of these combinations is correct? Which type of let me explain what individual these things are. Irony, I hope everybody knows. Irony means कुछ करना और कुछ जो बोलने में और करने में फर्क होता है. Like person is smoking a cigarette and talking about the effect of air pollution, right? That is irony. And sarcasm, kataksh, right? I hope everybody understands what is sarcasm. Shiv, what is meant by arch nemesis? Arch nemesis means दुश्मन. Arch nemesis means सबसे बड़ा जानी दुश्मन. Right? हम कहते हैं ये मेरा दुश्मन है, ये मेरा जानी दुश्मन है. Literally from your name that word comes, right? But I hope you, I mean, it's just a pun. But I hope you understand, right? In stories and movies, एक होता है दुश्मन जो रेगुलर होता है, और एक होता है सबसे बड़ा दुश्मन. So nemesis is दुश्मन. Arch nemesis is आपका सबसे main. जैसे Batman movies में the main enemy is the Joker. So the arch enemy is the Joker. So arch nemesis is the main enemy. Yes. Quaish. Yes. Vegetarian butcher. Correct. That's ironical. So irony and sarcasm, I hope you understand. Alliteration is the simplest. Alliteration is this. चाचा ने चाची को चांदनी चौक में चांदी की चम्मच से चटनी चटाई. मामा मामी ने माथा में मचूड़ू मारियो. चंदू के चाचा ने चंदू की चाची को चांदनी रात में चांदी की चम्मच से चटनी चटाई. All these are examples of alliteration, where the sound of a word is repeated. Ka, 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 pa, pa, pa. So when the sound is repeated, that figure of speech is known as alliteration. Pun is pun on words, right? जब एक ही word के मतलब अलग, एक से ज्यादा मतलब निकाल सकते हो. That is called pun. Simile is when you compare two things. And easiest way to understand is that गाना, एक लड़की को देखा तो ऐसा लगा जैसे खिलता गुलाब, जैसे शायर का ख्वाब. So you're saying she's like this, like that. So when you're comparing two objects, that is simile. Personification is when you give human qualities to inanimate object, right? So आप कहेंगे चांद रात को निकल के सबको मीठी नींद सुलाता है. The moon literally doesn't do anything. The moon is an inanimate object, but you describe it using qualities as if it is alive. So that figure of speech is known as personification. Metaphor is extreme form of simile, jahan pe instead of saying like, you say it is the other thing. You don't say ek ladki gulab jaisi hai. You say ladki gulab hai. You don't say ye ladka sher ki tarah bahadur hai. You say ye ladka sher hai. So metaphor, you don't say it is like, you say it is the other thing. That is metaphor, right? And onomatopoeia is usage of words to describe sounds. So when you say chum chum, when you use the words chum chum, instead of saying the sound made by payal or ghungru, you say chum chum. So when you're using the sound words to describe sounds, that is onomatopoeia. So guys, in this particular passage, maximum number कौन सा figure of speech use किया गया है? Maximum number. Now a lot of guys would be using onomatopoeia because ek jagah pe the word meowed has been used. But guys, they are not asking you कि कौन सा use किया है, maximum कौन सा use किया गया है. Onomatopoeia एक ही जगह पे use किया गया है. No. What is maximum usage? Onomatopoeia they have used only once in the passage, right? But the main thing, what is the passage about? The main thing in the passage is about the cat. The passage is about the cat, right? A cat is not human, but the entire passage they're describing as if the cat has human qualities. Animals don't have human qualities, but the entire passage they're talking about the cat as if it is a human being, and that very clearly is personification. Of course, there's a lot of comparison also for simile, but the clear hint about what figure of speech is there in the passage is personification. Why? Because the entire passage is about a non-human talked about as if it is a human being. The entire passage is about an animal, but it feels as if they're talking about a human being. So personification is the main thing, and hence C is my answer. I hope everybody got this one. Yes. I hope everybody got this one. Transferred epithet. Now, epithet means title. Somebody's asking me what is meant by transferred epithet. So epithet means title, right? For example, Sir Mahatma Gandhi. So Mahatma is the epithet given to Gandhi. Transferred epithet. So when the title is shifted from the original object to something else, the title belongs to something. For example, we say it was a cold night. Now a night cannot be cold. It is the weather which is cold, right? Night does not have temperature. It is the weather which is cold, or it is the wind which is cold. But you don't say it was a cold wind in the night. You say it was a cold night. So the title cold is transferred from one to another. That is transferred epithet. Prasanna gives me a good example. He slept on a restless bed. Correct. The bed is not restless. It is the sleeper who is restless. But you say he slept on a restless bed. Correct. Thanks, Prasanna, for that. Hope everybody got this one. It is right to go to the right. Pun. That's pun. It's not actually pun because they are using it to. There are hundreds of things. From the options, I'll be able to answer this. From the options, I'll be able to answer this. Okay. Chalo guys, we don't have much time left. Let's quickly run through the remaining questions. Then we'll have to shift to the next session. Let's quickly run through the remaining questions. The passage best demonstrates which of the following motifs? Motifs means theme. What is the theme of the passage? Motif literally means theme. So what is the theme of this passage? And guys, if you go back to the passage, you'll be surprised on how clearly they're talking about the theme in this. Right? I'm underlining, I'm showing you the words in the passage. Whether you realize it or not, the word has been used more than a dozen times in the passage. And that should make the answer pretty obvious what it is. Did everybody get it now? The word itself has been used so many times, and then there are a lot of other concepts which point to the same thing. So going to the question, if you paid attention to the words that I was marking, it is not about eating or satisfying hunger. It is not about surviving winter. The entire passage is how he waits for everything. Right? If you go and read the passage again, you'll be surprised the number of times the word wait has been used. We won't realize it when reading the passage. But when you go and see this question and then you read the passage again, you will find the word wait used so many times that it becomes pretty obvious. The entire passage is about waiting for something. Guys, did we get this one? I hope everybody understood this one. Did everybody get this one? The entire passage is not about hunger, it's not about winter. It's simply about how the cat's life is all about waiting for stuff. Did everybody get this one? Chalo, moving ahead. Next question then. The author's description of he was under no constraint of human will, for he was living alone. Even without the passage, you'll be able to answer this one. Even without the passage, the question itself actually contains the answer. The question itself contains the answer. Which one, guys? Right? When you're talking about he was living alone. So it's not absolute freedom from everything. He's not having he's having freedom of human will, but it's not absolute, right? And it's not as if he has no association with human beings, right? And it's not about his demeanor. It is the word tyrannical is used upon him, right? It's not he is being affected by tyranny. It clearly is talking about loneliness. So best possible option is the loneliness. I hope everybody got this one, right? And quickly, the last question before you shift. He never faltered. He never once cried. He had nothing to gain from crying, everything to lose. And guys, you'll be surprised at the answer to this question, because two questions in the same exam and one single answer to that. Two questions in the same exam and one single answer to that. You'll be surprised at what the answer is. So he is never faltering. That is, वो कभी हिचकता नहीं है, कभी रोता नहीं है, right? That means what? This guy is very flexible. He can adapt to everything, right? Reflective means a person who thinks a lot. Apologetic means who says sorry. Frustrated, definitely not. It talks about how he's very patient, flexing, adaptive. And remember, first passage maybe the word resilient was asked. So guys, one single answer to two questions in the same exam, the word resilient is used. Did everybody get this one? I hope everybody understood this one. Okay. So guys, if you're done with this session, you can move out. You can take, I'm sending the ID password for Chandan sir session. You can join the session. Have a good day. Stay safe.